You may very well have thought that the restaurant revolution came to an end with Adam Skelly and Chris Scott, but that is simply not the case. It is alive and well here in Calgary, and Without Papers Pizza is keeping up the fight.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's one of the purest essence of what I think freedom is, and that expression of that. And I've heard interviews with the owner, and he is that. It's humans are humans, and it's not about a vax passport. It's not about a mask. It's not about any of those details. It's discrimination at its core. It's dividing humans into a binary and saying one's better than the other, and that's what it comes down to. And that's just never historically been useful. I don't think it will be going forward.
So as I mentioned, we are outside of Without Papers Pizza. Our very own Sydney Fazard has been covering this story from the get-go on the inside, talking to the staff, talking to the owner. We're out here on the streets getting a vibe from the people who are here supporting this business. Adam Sos here for Rebel News, and we are at Without Papers Pizza here in Inglewood in Calgary, Alberta. And the owner here has refused to participate in the mandatory vaccine passport program. Police have already come and issued a number of notices, in addition to taking away the picnic tables that people were enjoying pizza right here in front of the store at. They took those away the other day. Now we're receiving troubling word that police may come and shutter the doors for good and seize the business. We're going to remain on the scene here today. Sid has been here for a few days covering this very closely, and he's going to be bringing you exclusive reports over the last few days. But we're here on scene today in case the police do indeed come and shutter the doors for good. So what brings you out to Without Papers Pizza?
I heard they were standing up for our freedoms, so I thought I'd come show some support. I needed to eat tonight, and what better way to spend my money in a place that's standing up for something that's pretty important, I think, to every one of us.
We love Without Papers. We've been supporting them, and their stand on what's going on right now is pretty powerful. They're one of the only restaurants in the city that actually want to take a stand against the injustice that's happening in our country.
I like that they're just standing up for people. Like 3-4 weeks ago, it was okay to come here or anywhere without having to be like, hey, here's all my personal details and my medical records. And I just don't agree with it. I mean, people should have the decision. We're all adults.
I just wanted to come out today again and show my support for Jesse and for everything that he's doing for our community and actually making a verbal stand against this. I mean, I know there's a lot of places out there that have been kind of quietly opposing this, but he's the only one that's actually taken a verbal stand against this and said no to discrimination.
Coming out for a good slice, trying to support a good local business, trying to stay open.
And what do you make of their stand? Clearly, they're not here to talk about politics or to be pro or anti anything. What they're saying is that they're pro-human being. They're not going to exclude people or invade people's medical privacy. What do you make of that stand?
Seems like a pretty Canadian sentiment to me that we should all, as Canadians, appreciate, I think. And it's really confusing and disheartening that there aren't more people kind of standing up, and they're like one of the only businesses in the city.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's one of the purest essence of what I think freedom is, and that expression of that. And I've heard interviews with the owner, and he is that. It's humans are humans, and it's not about a vax passport. It's not about a mask. It's not about any of those details. It's discrimination at its core. It's dividing humans into a binary and saying one's better than the other, and that's what it comes down to. And that's just never historically been useful. I don't think it will be going forward.
I think it's important that people try not to be divisive and try to stay as open-minded as possible and look into other people's perspectives, whatever you may agree with. I think that's something that we got to stick together with and make sure we don't divide ourselves even further.
We are losing our freedoms. And this isn't the pro-vax, against vax argument. This is our freedoms are being taken away from us, and companies, whatever you're willing to support, they're not even allowing for that you can't stand in your own power. You can't have your own restaurant and run it as you want to as a business owner here in Canada anymore. You have to follow the rules. So it's a pretty powerful thing right now. And so we have to support them. Plus they make great pizza.
We did have more crates, but
So you'll likely notice that behind me there is a pizza party ongoing. There are quite a few people here. It's very very busy at this closed business that would not participate in the vaccine passports program. Meanwhile, adjacent businesses that are participating are completely empty. And he is sort of the person making that initial push and encouraging people to follow along. What do you say to other business owners who might be in agreement but are afraid to come out and publicly stand in opposition to these vaccine passports?
I would say do what your gut tells you and do what's right. Like we can't just sit back and wait for this to go away. Obviously, it didn't go away with the masks. It hasn't gone away with the vaccine. Now, everyone that said that there was no vaccine passports coming a year and a half ago, they're here. So this isn't going to end until we just decide that this ends. And I think businesses need to realize that they're going to be held personally accountable. They can't say, this was my job, I had to do it. I think at this point, when we're talking about actual real discrimination here, we have to take a stand just as human beings. Forget whether you're a business owner or an employee or whatever. You just have to stand up on your own moral ground.
If not us, who else? And I think it's really brave for people to do that, be able to step up and do what they believe in.
They're so brave, like fair play to them for doing it. I don't know if I'd be as brave myself, but I really like what they're standing up for and I want to be here to support them.
Keep it up. We're right behind you. I mean, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get pretty emotional thinking about that, but I think there's something to be said that we're there with them. They need the people, they need the community, they need everyone standing with them.
I want to say thank you for standing up and keep it going, because there's a lot of people out here, I think, that maybe they don't like to show their faces, that appreciate it, and I think they might be representing more people than they know.
This is standing in your power right now, and I think that's all you can do is have your conviction and know that you're living in your truth, whether people believe what's happening or not. It's like we actually know that this is our truth. Our freedoms are on the line, and don't waver. And I'm so proud of them, and I'll support them 100%.
We're here to support you. There is a huge community of people. I'm really actually good friends with Carrie and Marla from Outlaws and Chris Scott, and we're sticking together, and I don't think any of us are willing to back down. Even these people who have already stood up and, like you said, have lost their businesses and lost their livelihoods. None of us have given up on these people, and none of us will. So all we can say is thank you, and just encourage everybody else to show support and stand up now and stop allowing these things to happen to these business owners who are being brave and standing up for us.
Well, people are still standing here with a growing crowd showing support for the owner of Without Papers Pizza. They are applauding his strong stance and his willingness to stand for fundamental human rights and to say that all humans are equal and welcome. They continue to bring free pizza out, and what is very much a pizza party for freedom continues here in Inglewood. Our very own Sydney Fizzard will be here to cover the story throughout the evening. I want to thank you all for tuning in to at least this portion of the story, with more certainty to come. For Rebel News, I'm Adam Sos. If you agree with the owner of Without Papers Pizza that human beings should not be segregated or discriminated against, go to fightvaccinepassports.com.
I enjoy this place. I enjoy any business that stands up for freedom.